bought this skull for my 30th birthday. It's been a great reference for painting portraits. I've also just painted it a couple of times as a still life. But the main reason why I bought it when I bought it is as a reminder. Memento Mori. Literal Latin translation, remember death, or remember that you must die. The more time I spend looking at a skull, the easier it becomes to see my own skull behind my face, and remember that's what will be in the end. Too dark? I know. I'm sorry. I've had no interest in art or creativity for the past couple of weeks. Painting has been my life for, I don't know, a lot of years. I just feel this overwhelming sense of, I don't wanna. What's the point? Memento Mori has become more than just an abstract idea recently. The average, which is to say lucky, human life is about 75 to 80 years, about 4,000 weeks, 920 months, 25,000 or so, give or take, more or less days. Here is what that looks like in months. 920, arranged 20 by 46. Each cell is a month. I am right about here. I graduated high school right around here, college right around here. I bought that skull right around here. Everything beyond here is a question mark. Mostly faint question marks, but the question marks get bolder and bolder as you move along. Everything beyond this is bonus. But today, somewhere around here, I feel compelled to spend one of my 25,000 or so, more or less, give or take, days cleaning dust out of this. My Lasko Tower Fan. I love this fan. It is indispensable in the summer months when the air is still and hot. This Lasko fan is about 10 years old, and I've never cleaned it. Sure, I've dusted the outside, but I've never deep cleaned it. And I just know that it's holding a sickening amount of dust inside of it. I've never been much of a handyman. I regret that I've never learned how to fix things or take them apart and put them back together in a useful way. And for the first time in nearly 2 weeks, I got excited to work on something. I bring it outside. I'm wearing a face mask and glasses to keep the dust out of my lungs and eyes. You can see the dust on the outside vents. That's easy enough to get off. We're gonna have to go deeper than that. We will start by taking off the back cover thing. These are Torx screws, the USB-C of screws. I don't have a Torx screwdriver, but I saw that you can use a flathead screwdriver to get them out, so I'm going to do that before going out to buy a new screwdriver. The manual for this fan says never take this fan apart. Sorry, Lasko, but I have to do it. I remove the outer vents, and I'm inside. To be honest, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. This side wall next to the fan blades is probably the worst. It's pretty awful. That will be easy to clean off though. All I have to do is take it off. And what do you know? Phillips head screws. Torx in the streets, Phillips in the sheets. I'm careful in pulling all this stuff apart because there's electrical wires, and if I break them, I'll be way out of my depth. I start on the fan blades initially, just using a regular dust rag. The dust rag is good for the surface dust, but that's about it. The blades are at such an angle that I can't get inside. I use this duster thing to try and get in there. I feel like I'm brushing its teeth, but it's really not getting the dust off the way that I want it to. So I'm going to move on and dust off this inside wall thing. That's easy, satisfying. Next, I'll clean these back vents, also easy. But how to do these fan blades? I went back inside to get something, and I let a fly in the room. I try some compressed air. The dust is too hardened. I put a Q-tip in there, and that was able to loosen up the dirt. I fight it at first. There's gotta be an easier way. I'm sure there is, but this works. I jump around at first, kind of mindlessly, just trying to get it over with. Eventually, I surrender. I realize that the best way is to go blade by blade. I quickly realized it would be insane to try and get every speck of dust off of these fan blades. All I can do is my best. Loosen up the dust, then blow it away with the compressed air. Then move on to the next row. "32 blades per row. Loosen up the dust, blow away with the air. Next row, blade by blade." One of my 25,000, more or less, give or take, days is now dedicated to cleaning this fan. Why don't I just buy a new one? Save the time. You can get a brand new one for less than $100 on Amazon. The new models even come with remotes. Think about how convenient that would be. You don't even have to get up to turn it off or change the settings. And you're basically spending $100 for a day of your life that you can never get back. To this, I could argue something like, it's better to repair things than to buy them. It's more satisfying and fulfilling. It changes your relationship to things. Repairing things turns objects into your objects. And it's more environmental, blah, 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 whatever. But the truth is, I simply wanted to take something apart and put it back together. Now that I'm thinking about this fan being 10 years old, I'm realizing that that's about the same age as my art career, when I decided I'm going to try and be a full-time artist. Now, honestly, I'm questioning that decision in a way that I haven't in some years. Am I quitting? Only time can tell. But when I got the idea to take apart this fan and clean it, for the first time since leaving the hospital, I thought, that's how I want to spend my day tomorrow. Next, I get some of the loose dust off of the back of the fan. Actually, that's the front of the fan. I keep forgetting that's upside down. I wipe it all down with a dust rag, and I do this until it's cleaned to my satisfaction. Could it be cleaner? Absolutely. Is it good enough for me? Yeah. I put the wall back into place. I took a picture before I took it apart so that I could weave the wire in between the screws, just like it was before, just in case Lasko decides to send their goons over and make sure I didn't tamper with their product. One time I was at a thrift store and I overheard a lady say, "Isn't it sad? We spend a life accumulating these treasures only for strangers to rummage through them here after we die." 920 months, 4,000 weeks, 25,000 days, give or take, more or less if you're lucky. All of them question marks, some more faint than others. But if I'm suddenly struck down and my Lasko fan ends up at a thrift store, I'll have made my mark. I put the back cover vent things on. I joined the 21st century and bought myself a Torx screwdriver. Buy tools, not things. That's a mantra I'm working on living by. A New Year's resolution in July, if you will. I plug my old friend back in and enjoy the cool, clean air. Have fun. Good night, sweetie.